road here, but oh, there he is. Yeah, he is coming towards them. He's disappearing behind the bush again. We should come out onto the road. Just a bit further up ahead. Let's see if we can see him. He's just on the bend at the moment. But as I say, I'm going to keep my distance just from that behaviour. And I don't think we'll stay long with him. But at the end of the day, we don't want to antagonise an animal. The last thing we want to do is make an animal charge. I do wonder why he's been made upset. I do wonder. Doesn't look like he's got any scars on him. Can't see him now. I'll say it could be that he was in a fight. It doesn't look like he had anything on him, but as I say, he was quite far away. He's actually crossed over the road already. So he just may have had a bad run-in with a vehicle. Okay, we'll leave him to it. So I don't want to follow him through the bush, especially in an agitated state. But it was worth checking out. It could have been that it was misinterpreted behaviour. Hopefully he'll settle down if he's still in the area. So we shall carry on. Always think in the back of your mind, if you do hear a story where an animal has charged a vehicle or even gone to the point where they've killed somebody. Update there. But as I say, always think in the back of your mind what happened, what was the reasoning behind it. I still will stand by, animals will not attack just because they can. Animals are not like that. So I was trying to explain about the snake yesterday, and say some of the staff members aren't great lovers of snakes, and they also are very worried about having a snake there because, you know, it's thought that snakes are ready to attack and they are just going to bite people. And as I say, when people hear these horror stories of elephants attacking vehicles or whatever, always just think in the back of your mind, why? What caused that animal to do that? And it could be something that's built up and built up and built up, and it's all of a sudden that particular instance makes that animal snap. You don't know. I mean, elephants have got a fantastic memory. You don't know if what's happened in that elephant's life. Maybe there was something particularly bad in that life that made that animal not like a particular sound of a vehicle or maybe even a particular person. I mean, there are some people that think it's funny that they can go and try and do things to animals. And unfortunately, it's not so much nowadays, but especially when guides first started out, people were trying to push and see as closely as they could be to the animals, and just a lack of respect. And unfortunately, some animals will react if they've had so much. Then one day maybe there is something that happens and they just snap. So it's very rarely you hear of something happening where it was just out of the blue. And if that is the case, it is just out of the blue. And it's also, why is it out of the blue? Was it something to do with the sounds? Did it remind the animal of something? And to say, for instance, with that rhino, I don't know how close that vehicle got to that rhino. If he was having a bad day, maybe that vehicle got just a little bit too close, and he charged, and now unfortunately his aggression level would have been increased. And as I say, just seeing that stance from quite far off, he was already alert to our presence, which is very different to a normal, docile, calm rhino. The fact that he was up and his ears were straight forward, he was in alert posture, even at that distance, it would have been silly for me to try and get closer. So it was clear that that rhino was upset. So I'd rather just let him relax. Hopefully he'll relax down in the next couple of hours or so, and he'll be able to come across the vehicles and as if nothing had happened. So it was, with him being so close, it was worth having a look. So sometimes they say it can be misinterpreted that animals are being aggressive and actually they're not. He didn't show any signs of aggression towards us at all. It was a sign of alertness. Head up towards Pipeline, I think. That's 3/4 an hour of game drive. See if there's anything happening around Upperson Dam. Really hoping to find some leopard. It's been such a while since I've seen leopard. The last time was when we saw Yambidi or Dan by the Buffalo Dam with Karula and the two boys. And we actually bumped into a herd of elephants. We actually missed seeing all 4 of them together, but the herd of elephants was just so nice. Particularly want to rush through and not see them at all. Here, rhino again, rhino tracks, probably from that male. I saw some other rhino tracks heading up Warripan Road. I don't think they're the same. It's slightly smaller than that male's. actually, just going back to the question I had earlier about the jackal and the wolves, are they related? The animals that are in with the canines, in with the dogs, they'd also include the mustelids, which includes the bears, the badgers, and those sorts of animals, the skunks, the raccoons. They're all in with the canids, the dog side of the order, the carnivora, and also seals and the sea lions. So they all classified together. And that's one thing that we don't have here in Africa, is a bear species. So there's bears found throughout the rest of the world, but in Africa we lack a bear. I think it's probably because there's enough animals that fill the roles of bears in Africa. You've got the meat eaters, you've got the berry eaters. So I don't think a bear would do particularly well here. Obviously the size of them as well. The sloth bear in India, which is what Baloo from the Jungle Book is based on, is probably the closest type of bear that could live here in Africa. So there's a lot of species of tree that are very similar to that of India. Lots of different tracks here. So we've arrived at Buffalo Dam, probably the first time. I was going to stop.
Good morning, everyone. Pedro speaking, Fire Control. We are experiencing another technical difficulties on the Ganda. Hemi is going to quickly reboot the equipment in the vehicle. Hopefully the picture should be back shortly. Just enjoy the cover tape for the time being.
Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm not too sure why we lost you, but hopefully we're not going to lose you again. But we have made our way to Buffalo's Hook Dam. And you can see there's a little bit of activity just over my shoulder here. We've got the hippos, and I did see a little hippo. I think Bob is here, and I think Pinky was the name for the other hippo. But if we have any new viewers, Bob was actually born live on our camera at the dam, and that was on the 5th of March this year. And he's, well, we don't know if it's a he or she, and it's going to be very difficult to tell. But as I say, it's quite nice just to continue catching up and seeing how fast they're growing. And after she gave birth, she stayed there for quite a while. They usually stay there in the birthing pond, if you like, the birthing dam, for a number of days, maybe about 2 weeks. But she actually stayed there for a good month and a half. And then she came to find the rest of her family, and they stayed here at Buffelshoek Dam. They have been moving around quite a lot, but they seem to be staying here more than not now, which is great. And they seem to be about 8 or so in the group, in the pod or raft of hippo. And we also have the little grebes, the dabchicks. That was the old name, the dabchick. Lesser grebe now. And we're also having hammercops, busy catching the frogs. And they're flying over the dam quite a lot at the moment. And while we're off air, I managed to get a couple of pictures. I haven't had a chance to see if they're any good or not. If they are, I'll definitely put them up on Facebook. I know, we're going to be able to catch the little blue waxbill that's in the tree in front of me. Got a bright blue male sitting in the tree. You see them? Just right in front of me. No. There he goes. He was just staying put. He's just moved now. There's a hammercob just down to the right. Yeah. I'm actually catching the tadpoles that are coming up to the surface of the water. Possibly the clawed frogs. There's a lot of Xenopus lepus in there. Oh, there's a gymnogene actually flying over as well. African harrier hawk. He's actually scratching himself in flight. It's the first time I've ever seen that. If he comes close to the dam, we might be able to get it on camera. And it looks like the hammercops are actually a pair now. Remember, we've just been seeing one hammercop here at Buffelshoek Dam, but I've been seeing two now. And I do wonder if they're going to start building a nest. They make the largest nests out of all the birds in one sitting, and it just being a single pair of birds. You know, the sociable weavers can make a nest up to about 1.2 tons, and they can be extremely large. But the hammercops, for a single pair, they can build a nest for about 50 kilos in one go. Of course, the eagles can make very large nests, but again, they're going to be building them over 2 or 3 years. And they'll use those nests over 2 or 3 years, and then they'll go and build a new one elsewhere. Okay. I just wanted to confirm it was actually the tadpoles that he was eating. They're eating them so quickly, I can't keep up with them. I don't know if we can get No, he's just on the end of the bonnet there. Blacksmith lapwing. And the hammercops have actually, I think Penny, it was Penny that sent me through a breakdown. Someone actually went inside a hammercop nest and took it apart and actually found all the material that was in there, and even bicycle wheels were found in there, and bicycle tires, and underwear from people, and that they will collect anything and everything just to line that nest. But it's mostly made of twigs and sticks. We've got the hippo starting to emerge from the water there. And with our resident pied kingfishers, I've just been checking out the banks on the other side, and there's actually been a couple of swallows flying out from them, and I've not managed to catch which swallows they are. I think they're striped swallows. I just wanted to confirm that. And I have just seen a brown-hooded kingfisher fishing. Fortunately, he's actually tucked in behind a tree. But obviously that kingfisher doesn't read the books. They're not supposed to fish. Brown-hooded kingfishers are supposed to eat insects and lizards. It just goes to show anything is possible in nature. And animals, especially this time of year, they'll take any opportunity. He's going to come down again to fish. So hoping we might see the crocodile again. It doesn't look like it's made its way back here. So I think we shall move on. A little bit of birding going on. There's the brown-hooded kingfisher again.
One in Combi on Chile Capone, West Coast to go.
For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Tara. Herman's joining me on camera this morning with Patrick in final control. And if you would like to ask any questions, feel free to send them through to final control at safari.tv. I'll be able to answer your questions live here as we drive around in the beautiful game reserve of Juma. That's the hippos calling. Just had some Nyala just in front of us. And we've actually really been enjoying the fact that the Nyala have been coming so close to final control. Myself and Mark were standing there the other morning. There was a whole herd just standing outside final control, eating the very, very lush green grass. So there's a female just off to our left there. She might just come out for us. I say it's always a thrill, even if it's just antelope. But you just get a chance to actually see how beautiful they are, and they were coming extremely close. And even Alex was really enjoying how close the female was getting.
I don't want to be too loud. Oh, you just go closer.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see if they'll come out into the open here. Yeah, it looks, I was hoping they were going to come around the front of the torchwood there, but it looks like they are actually sticking to the shady spot at the back there. I must say, they've just got these beautiful brown eyes. You can actually get to see a lot of detail if they We're coming very, very close to the final control window. Mongoose when I was on the other side of the bank. Well, the hippos have got their heads up now. I actually want to go back down that way, but I just wanted to have a look at all those dwarf mongoose here. It's been a while since I've actually seen them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hippos. I think little Bob is actually the one that's closest to us now. They must have run off a little bit too far. Not seeing any response. Again, some people are asking why we're not seeing any hippos down at Gowrie Dam, and I think it probably is because the water level has dropped quite a lot, and it looks like Buffalo's Hook Dam is still deep enough to allow the hippos to submerge completely if they want to. But obviously in times where it's bit more difficult and there's not as much water around, then they will have to take what they can get, and sometimes it can be very, very little amount of water. And obviously in areas where the hippos rely heavily on rivers and the rivers start to dry up, they can get quite a great amount of hippos in one area. And you start to see a lot more intense interaction. And they have to kind of all get on, because that's the only place that they can really survive. I was hoping we might get a little bit better view of Bob. It doesn't look like they're going to oblige us, so we're going to head back down. Okay. And again, the little pygmy hippos, you'll find more in the Congo and those sort of areas. It's quite funny, there's supposed to be about 5 subspecies of hippo, but even an expert will struggle to tell the difference between the subspecies in the wild. And again, I think there's a lot of regional variation. I'm going to try and get the Minyala from this side now. As I say, the hippos will have different characteristics. The hippo that we have down here is supposed to have a wider head, a flatter head. I know some people the other day were struggling to tell the difference between Nyala and Kudu. And obviously it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you guys to tell size-wise. But Nyala tends to be this chestnut brown colour, whereas Kudu are a lot more grey in colour. They can be light beige as well, but they do tend to be a lot more greyer in colour. And you will find obviously stripes on both, but you may find a few spots on the Nyala, not always, sometimes. But generally the colour should help you. I just wonder if we can maybe scan across to the tree. I've just noticed the fruits on them, the monkey orange. You see these huge fruits on the tree. They're actually quite a large orange-sized fruit. You can eat them, but it's not really recommended. They don't really taste like an orange. And some people also say that you're better off roasting them or cooking them to actually get a nice tasting one. Let's see if we can get a nice picture here. I'm not too sure which one it is. I know they fall under strychnos. It doesn't look like a corky bark. We used to have the corky bark and the spiny leaf monkey orange from where I was. It doesn't look like the spiny leaf. So I have to do a bit of digging and find out which monkey orange it is. It does look like it belongs to the Strychnos species rather than the acacia. Okay. Thanks, Niana. And they can also make pots from them. Some people, especially when they live in the rural areas, and they will still use the monkey oranges, so they'll take out the fruit and let the actual orange peel harden in the sun, and it can make a very nice container, whether you use it for a cup or something like that, maybe even a little jar. But they can be extremely hard. Strychnos pungens was the most common monkey orange that I was familiar with. Spiny leaf monkey orange. They had a tiny, tiny hair-like needle on the end of it, which was certainly sharp enough. Oh dear. Patrick's just telling me. Oh dear. Okay. Shotgun I don't have to clean up. The baboons apparently have managed to get into the house again. So whoever was last out last night might have just left the door slightly open, and they have eaten some of the vegetables and made quite a mess. Oh dear. It's amazing, it takes baboons such little time to find the weakness in the house and learn it, and then they will utilize that, and that's one of the reasons why it's such a big problem in Cape Town, especially because people have fed baboons and they've learned that they can get food from humans, and they will actually break into houses, and they're actually clever enough to open fridges and things like that. So it always amazes me, we humans think we're so intelligent. And we sometimes forget the intelligence of animals. Oh wow. Sorry, I've got to show this. Huge nest in communal spiders. Let's have a quick look at this. before we leave. That is quite a large one. If I stand next to it, hopefully you can see the size difference.
Me and Lovo on Central Road on Cheetah Plain.
It's quite a large nest. And there'll be hundreds of spiders in there. And obviously a communal spider, they again use the amount of bodies there to protect each other, and they're able to build these large nests together to protect themselves. But that's actually one of the largest communal spider nests that I've seen. They tend to be sort of this sort of size, sort of my fist size. There's actually another one up in the tree further up that sort of size, but this one is actually quite large. Sure. And you won't really see them during the day. They'll only really come out at night to go and find food. And obviously there's a bit of web there that they'll be able to catch. Some elephant tracks here, very fresh elephant tracks actually. Going that way. Looks like quite a large bull. Oh guys, I have been trying to find leopard, lion. Unfortunately, without any fresh tracks, you have to really be lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time. We've been trying to cover as much in the way of roads as possible. I'll find some more buffalo here. Say the more road you can cover, the more likelihood of seeing tracks you have. Especially when you have this is the buffalo, bachelor buffalo group that we had earlier. It's actually standing quite close to the road. There we go, lad.
That's we're in Lovo. They cross Central Road. They headed in the southwesterly direction towards the Juma Dam.
Alright guys. As I say, hopefully the rhino will, I'm sure he'll calm down and be back to normal. So if he is still around in the area this afternoon, then we should be able to approach him a little bit closer than what we were able to. But as I say, it's not really worth upsetting an animal further. It was worth us trying and seeing if he was really as being aggressive as what they were saying. I'd say just that stance that he was showing, he was extremely alert from quite a long distance. So that's why I decided not to try and push him and try and get any closer. But as I say, it was worth checking out just in case the information was slightly wrong. But as I say, I have got no doubt that he'll calm down and he will be able to be viewed eventually quite nicely and relaxed again. But something obviously upset him, and we just have to accept that sometimes. We can't always know what's going on inside their heads or what has happened in their lives. But it's been quite a nice, pleasant drive. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We've obviously seen a few trees, and I'll try and find which species of monkey orange that was for you. And obviously the apple leaf, which is new to me. I've been looking around and I've been seeing the apple leaves now, so hopefully that's going to be lodged in my brain. But thank you very much for all the questions, and you've been watching Safari TV with myself, Herman and Patrick. So do join us for our next live safari. Remember, we're going out half an hour later this afternoon, so 3:30 Central Africa time, for our next live safari. But from myself and the rest of the crew for now, take care, goodbye, have a great day, I'll see you again.